I
Crap, I hadn't
and
hit
I did.
record yet. Sorry.
You're
Go ahead.
good.
Go
You're
ahead.
good.
Go
You
ahead.
want me to start over? I can do it. It's super quick.
No, no, no. You're doing great. This is fine. I'm
Okay,
gonna do
that's fine.
edits anyway. So
You're good. You're good. Yeah, I appreciate that. So, I was like, okay, that this is a great foundation. I spent a lot of time actually looking for a model that had a skeleton, and I can't, there are different places. Some of the textures a little bit different, but I found one that I liked because I was such a fan of this one, right? That came from the Sonic Generations game that came from a while. Really enjoyed the style, something about it. It's classic. It's kind of like goofy a little bit, big head. The hands are kind of big too, uh, you know, and everything else except fused feet, which Matic knows that I've been trying to fix it forever. But nonetheless, I was like, okay. I asked Codex because my cloud expired, and I said, well, good fallback. I asked Codex to switch the VRM, and after some time, it actually did it like really well. And all the programming aspect of the tracking of the fingers, the hands, the algorithm that they're using through media pipe. There are some other things you can do there with transformations and other math there and whatnot, YOLO, and it worked like way better than I expected actually. And I was so excited to show him, and I was like, dude, you're not gonna believe this, but it's actually worked super well. And you can just I've done different things. Like for example, my webcam right now it's just one of my computer's webcam. But what I also did is for free, I also found this is I guess a web app, I could say, maybe a tool on the browser that streams what your phone sees to OBS. So you can have the virtual camera of OBS and sort of restream it to the software. So why did I do that? Well, because I'm kind of stuck moving around a laptop. It's not ideal, but we move around with our phones all the time, and you can flip between the front, the back, the different ultra wide cameras, and all these things. And in the little browser application as well, there's also many things you can modify there, including frames per second, all those important things. So, and recently I got a new computer, which I'm very happy about. So I know also the performance on top of that is running decently well. So I really enjoyed it. I was messing around with it for a couple of days. I even attached my phone to like the bathroom door just so I could get like a wide angle, and all this kinds of stuff. So it's very, very smooth. There are different things you can do. I haven't played with everything in there. It's a lot because I don't want to mess it up too much. There's a lot of things that even in people who use Blender understand about weights, right? The weight of the model in certain things, like for example, hair or whatnot. But this is a very simple model. It's not meant to move organically in a sense. It's more robot than humanoid for the character. So I said, this is fantastic. So I found a happy medium I really liked. And yeah, I've been using it for like, probably 4 days, 3 days, something like that. And I think it's great because you can just kind of shove this into a Twitch stream or something and just make it, a little bit, fun or creative in that way without having to spend basically no money, right? Because laptops almost guaranteed you got a camera, guaranteed you have an Android or an iPhone, super capable. And yeah, so it was a really nice experiment because I've been wanting actually to do. So this is sort of like the foundation, right? This is at this point, sort of with everything that I've done, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, and I think I want to reach a little higher. And I'm going to try to, now that I have Claude back running now, see if I can do something more interesting, including a voice. Now it's very common. People use Whisper Flow and other tools to, voice changers are not out of the norm. But there are some things that are hard to replicate, and that has to go from my voice to text and to text to speech again. Because there were some other things I've seen on YouTube that people were trying to replicate the voice that you hear for the character. And it's very particular. The character actually barely speaks, but there's actually old audio files from some of the older games that weren't even 3D. And it kind of became like a meme. So I wanted to be like, well, I'm not going to basically say nothing on stream. So like, it'd be cool if my computer on top of that is quick enough to transfer what I'm saying, understand what I'm saying, and then have a output that is generated like fairly quickly, right? So yeah, so it's been very fun basically. And I can kind of show you guys when you have the time, sort of like the whole process, basically, right, from like start to finish. So you can just put in like whatever you want, basically. I can't guarantee the results because sometimes what you find on the internet for free, people prepare it as best they can. Some people don't get paid for it, so they do half a job, if you will. But there's a lot of ready VRM models that you can just put in and whatnot. Right now, the camera you're actually seeing is actually cropped in OBS because there's all the toolbars and other things that make it customizable, just to make it a little more seamless with the camera. Uh, but it's very nice. So it's by default kind of like transparent. So the character is like already on something, right? But you can put a background image, 3D image. So I kind of wanted to see if I could push the ante using like Node, I think, what is it called? Node 3GS or something like that, and have the VRM exist sort of in that world as best as possible with webcam. I think you could get creative with simple things for tracking. Like, I mean, just like a band, even if it's out of paper, as long as it's a particular color, and you have an algorithm that detects certain things. Because, for example, this is only seeing part of my body, and the model's actually got fused feet. So it doesn't know that, for example, my feet are crossed, or if I'm laying down in the flat, the algorithm will freak out. Like, this obviously has training data, but it could be probably optimized a little bit so you have less training data because you're giving it probably what it expects and possibilities. But yeah, I think for streaming, this is it's just fun. It's just a thing, a little side project I wanted to do, and I'm probably gonna go a little farther, definitely. And yeah.
Well, that
What do you mean by OBS? I'm not familiar with that
Oh,
word, that
yeah.
term.
So OBS is a very common sort of streaming tool that people use. A lot of people on Twitch use OBS. Some people use I think there's another one. I think it's called Stream Elements. And it's just what people usually use to put in all their cool banners, right? Like the camera is sometimes it's not just left as the box put in. They put like sort of like a border on it. Some people put animations, right? If there's a hotkey, something pops up, a new subscriber on a Twitch channel, for example, or YouTube or Kick, and there's like an animation, right? Just to make the stream a little more lively, and custom interactions that people sort of program along the way. And a lot of this software, the people who create it know who their audience is, so they keep all these things available, right? There's a lot of people who stream. There's a mobile app as well, and they stream live in real life. They walk around, and so there's still some power to them, even though they're not sitting on their desktop or laptop with all the extra capabilities and stuff like that. But you can get pretty creative nonetheless. So yeah.
so that thing with the streaming from your phone to OBS, is that the continuity cam thing? Or
So I'm actually gonna check it right now. So it's the actual what I'm using for my phone. It's called I have it. The link is right here. VDO.ninja is the actual website. And what it does is it uses certain protocols um, to like it. So it kind of sends it up. So I'm connected to my Wi-Fi. As far as I know, this is working because I'm on the same network that OBS is expecting sort of this data from, right? So I'm saying like it's like saying, hey, my address is 11001 Northwest 43rd Court, right? And you're telling the application, hey, you're on the same network. You guys trust me. You're going to find each other. Go to 11001 Northwest 43rd Court, right? But that's like it's an IP, right? It's a port number. There's some formatting in that, and then they just connected. I mean, it was like magic. I was like, oh my gosh, this is working. So I'm able to actually walk around in, for example, my house and set my phone in a certain place that is a little more comfortable than using my laptop. And I don't have an extra camera that has a long cord. And also, that's kind of sometimes an issue because you may trip over it, right? It's long, it's uncomfortable, it's in the way, you know. And this is just like way more dynamic to do that with. And the, you know, they're obviously, it's not a perfect thing, right? I was just telling Matic, I was like, hey, I think I might. So this is with MediaPipe. This is the default. I was trying to mess with YOLO 26, some new thing they were, and the body tracking is phenomenal, but it's actually better than MediaPipe, I'd say. But the situation is that this program was not prepared for it, so it didn't like adjust very well. So I kind of just reverted it back to sort of what it was. But yeah, the hand movements super fluid. The head is probably the best thing about it. The head movements are great. The hand movements are very fluid, up and down, and obviously the further I think you guys. Well, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can see it. I can kind of get up, right, and have way more
It's
movement
so
now
cool.
because it sees more. So it expects more because it sees more, and the model also doesn't freak out in the process, right? Because if I move away, sometimes it just does that, right? So, but if I come back, you see it like flipping. So yeah,
Yeah, you
great.
like your body parts like shuffled.
Yeah, contortionist. Yeah, exactly. I know that I've been fighting with that for like 2 days, but it's fine for what it is. It's really good. You know, most of the time, a big virtual space. I mean, it's like a mocap. A real one costs, you know, it's so much money. You know, so I think a really cool thing is probably being able to take this up a notch, like a little higher, and being able to use creative, cheap ways that you already have access to make the tracking like that much better for an algorithm that is, you know, has these kind of capabilities, right? But I'm in like dreamer mode right now, right? So I'm just speaking words. I don't even know how to program, but I do know how to sort of get along with vibe coding in a way that's actually working. So I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even expect this to work, but here we are, right? So yeah.
No, it's amazing how good the tools are. I mean, even it sounds like basically you ended up finding like good tools
Oh
effectively.
yeah.
Like this
Oh
isn't
yeah. Like
some vibe coded mess. Like you found your way to the right tools.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's that, you know, you
yeah,
have
yeah,
to. Yeah.
yeah. Rather than like, oh, I'm gonna reinvent the wheel. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Exactly. Exactly. There's no point. It's like it's gonna be way harder to do that. So,
let's see.
um, but yeah, I
Uh,
may do like a work sort of. I don't know. If workflow is probably not the right thing, but definitely like a flow chart, if you will, of the
yeah,
steps you can do to basically get to this stage. You know, just pick out whatever you want, right?
right, right, right. Can you show us your screen on the like
Yeah, yeah.
what it looks like on the back end? I mean, this is really cool. It live. I mean, it's seamless. Like, holy shit, I'm talking to Metal Sonic. Like,
Yeah. Let's
but
see
yeah,
if I
like
can
what does it look like? What do the wires look like on the back end? Clean up your clean up your desktop and any tokens before you share, please.
yeah, need to clean up my Telegram because there's a Clash Royale goblin saying boohoo. A couple other things. Cleaning is fine. Yeah, everything else is fine. Let me make sure. Yeah, everything else I don't even care. That's fine. Okay. So I'm gonna change here. Let me see if I can oh, I can just share my screen, right? Like that's what the whole point is. It says that host disabled attendee screen sharing. So you need to fix that so I can share my screen.
So Woody will be upstairs. Please stand by while he fixes the issue.
I knew I forgot something on the checklist.
That was Twinkle screaming. Here he is again. I guess I could.
Oh,
Ow.
he's so small.
He is pretty small, but he's very fierce.
Yeah. He's got red
Okay.
little cheeks.
Oh wait, hey, Kingdom, want to see a magic trick?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna teleport. Ready?
Okay.
Okay, I gotta get on screen for
Should I
that.
look behind me when you do?
No,
Oh,
no, no, no. All
okay.
right, Tony. Okay, okay. All right, you see me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right, ready? It's a slow teleportation. Okay, give me a
Right,
break.
right, right. Yeah,
But all
just
right, ready?
the wormhole.
Here we go. Here we go. Turn on your camera.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Hey,
Hey.
what's birdie with the birdie? Yeah, get it.
he is very, very territorial. Here.
Asserting his dominance.
Oh yeah, yeah. Careful, careful, Woody.
Okay, okay. Sorry about that. I'm gonna go give you a chair. Hold on.
Yeah. There.
And boom, teleported back. Okay, so where was I? I was giving you
So yeah, the you disable or
sharing.
maybe well, it says that yeah.
Yeah, I gotta
It's
give
not
you
there.
sharing. Not captions. There we go. Okay, you should be good now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta make one of these.
Actually, was there? There we go. Yeah, yeah, I'll do for our screen, whatever. I got nothing on it. Okay, so this is my desktop, right? So the first things first, right? Uh, let me. I don't know, how can I move this? I'll put that over. This is sort of the foundation, right? This GitHub. This is where this project came from, right? XR Animator, full body real time motion tracking with a single webcam. I'm like, great on your PC and web browser. Phenomenal. That's exactly what I'm looking for, right? At the time. And there's a web app version, there's a Windows, Linux, Mac OS. So this is adaptable, allegedly, to almost all platforms, right? And obviously here it shows some of the features that it has, what it supports, what you can export, and things of this nature. There are some features, though. I mean, I could be wrong here. Maybe I didn't discover them in time, and it just kind of forced it. But I had to use Codex to get Metal Sonic in. So, and here it talks about sort of the performance. It's basically AR, if you think about it. And some of these examples, these demos, if you will, that people have put in here. Here, I don't know what that anime is in the middle, but the one is over there is like Miku or whatever. So this is something you can just kind of download, right? And for the record, no, I didn't get any viruses, so that's a huge win. And the other part is I think I went on Vroid. So Vroid, I don't know if I later or what, but in here, and um they have a hub, I think. Yeah, because the studio is the actual application. There we go. So I was looking through this, and what I have found is that I'm like, okay, let me look up Metal Sonic just in case, right? Because I'm like, they have models, and what do you know? I was like, you have got to be joking. There's like four of them, and so I sort of hearted some of them. There's one that I didn't have access to for whatever reason, but I noticed that I said, hey, hold on a second. If these are on Vroid Hub, right, for the application, then these have to be likely VRM ready. So I download this as a file I didn't even name it. It's just like long number, but it's a .vrm. And when I downloaded, I told Codex, I said, "Hey, can you please, instead of the default character, get me this guy, right?" Because the default character was just the girl, and I didn't obviously logically did not want that. So here we go. And what's cool about this is that the first thing you do, right, is you have to select your input. Like, where is it coming from? Are you going to flip the image or not? Because it's mirroring and all these kinds of things. And at the time, because you can see here, by the way, it's experimenting with a lot of software. I downloaded through Steam Warudo, but at the end of the day, it did not help. Even though I gotta figure out how to get rid of all that. But anyway, there's NVIDIA Broadcast, because sometimes NVIDIA Broadcast has different filters and things that are outside your regular camera and or audio, including visual things. I have it there on standby just in case I can do something special with it. But man, is a GPU heavy. Like, it's not necessary for this at all. And here's the OBS virtual camera that I was referring to. So inside of OBS, for example, here's the areas where I'm doing all this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this window capture. This window capture is what I was using to sort of restream this onto the webcam, right? Because I have it kind of cropped. As you see, the actual software has all these tools going on, all these things that I have to say yes to. And I can move it up and down. Of course, this is like a kind of a fake virtual space. And I can mess with all the options, right? Body tracking, hand tracking, face tracking, object tracking, many things that I have not exactly touched to the fullest extent. So this takes your webcam, and this can actually, I'm actually try to step back a little more. I'm going to try to maybe even angle. This can get a lot of your body for the most part, right? And there's edges to this camera. As you can see, sometimes my hand starts to disappear. Maybe the hand starts to freak out a little bit. It's not perfect, right? But at a medium range, it's pretty much very seamless. I mean, we're talking like very custom digits, right? I mean, look at this. Like, it's my pinky, right?
Yeah, the articulation is amazing. Like, it's capturing
Yeah,
gestures really nicely.
100%. Obviously, the skeleton needs to be modified a bit more, of course, and there is some leg action going on in here. Again, this particular model isn't like 100%, but it can do a lot. So in a VRM ready, prepared model, what you call performance is way higher than this demo, if you will. So what I did want to show you is if I close the browser, and let me see if I do no, actually, no, not the browser, the window. There you go. So
Oh,
you guys can see me
Dr.
again.
Islam, this is OBS what he's sharing here. It stands for Open Broadcast System.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of it. You can compose your thing. And I'll pull mine up and put my like Frymatic thing up. But yeah,
Oh,
this is
okay.
OBS. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, very, very good. They update
Very
updates all the
extensible,
time.
plays nicely with Python.
So I'm gonna set my camera here. So this, what you're seeing right here, is being streamed from my phone with that website, which I'm gonna check it again, vdo.ninja. And
Really
by the
cool.
way, give me 1 second. I'm gonna get the charge for this phone. It's gonna turn off. So 1 second.
Okay.
I'm gonna implement this for my game for Red Eye. Computer vision based game.
So that whole animated avatar, where is it streaming from? Like, how can Zoom see that, for instance?
Well, I believe he is sharing the magic.
Okay.
It's all the rage these days.
I don't know if you just
VTubing.
caught that, but my camera just flipped because I turned
Huh.
it 90 degrees. I had the charger. So that browser sort of application did that sort of like my camera's doing that, but it adapted in the app as well. So you're not like 90 degrees random or like it'll flip automatically based off your phone. So I also found that very, very helpful when sort of trying to experiment, right, with what I can do with this. And what I had done is there's a I point this to, let me see if I can do it from here. Because right now the webcam is seeing me. Let me see if I can do it quickly. Webcam,
OBE.
file, OBS virtual camera. Okay, so right now I'm trying to point it to the virtual camera. And I'm going to put this back to source on the browser.
Okay.
Okay.
There it is. Okay.
There you go. So now this is happening because it's being seen from my phone. And what's interesting is that I can't quite prove this yet, but I got more range, if you will, right? Because of the camera size, right? The amount of space that it takes up. So let me
I
move
mean,
it
that
a
makes
little bit.
sense, mostly because like there's more of you in the frame.
Yeah. Let's see if I can kind of
Okay.
move the actual. Let me see if I can. I think I have to click this, maybe. Oh, there we go.
Oh, wow.
Right now, it's kind of, I don't know why I'm like one to there. So this is sort of the distance. You can kind of see that there's like something going on with the camera. Like I'm swept in a little bit. It's because in the settings they just kind of push the boundaries a little bit more. Sometimes that's not a requirement. If you actually do it all to the max, sometimes you're actually cutting off what you can see. So you kind of have to play around with it a little bit, the height, the width, the aspect angle, all that stuff. And yeah, it works pretty good. Obviously, I'm streaming it. The internet has to do extra work to show you the fluidity of it, but like regular online, and there's not a bunch of traffic, internet traffic. Like it's very smooth. Let's see if I can back up even more. So let me see if I can move a leg. So it's pretty good. So yeah, it's safe.
That's awesome.
I can sit down, blow my chair, blow.
That's pretty funny. Wait, do you have no hips? Oh no, it's just blending into the background of the couch. They're like white. I see.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll freak out if I turn around. I don't know. I
Now,
would kind of just
if you put some of those bodysuits with lighting on it to say you follow the surface contour of your body, would its performance be sort of more accurate?
prop under probably probably like 100%. The only thing is I wouldn't cover your face because it's
Gotcha.
expecting that. So either wear a mask. You know how like these little. You know how these yeah, just something that has physical attributes to some extent. So it can be like, oh no, that's his nose. That's the because the algorithm is kind of expecting it has probably some training data on facial this and that, or at least visually, right? Lighting and whatnot, what to expect. So I wouldn't cover your face in that aspect. Definitely. I think hair may not exactly help, but because the program was made for like DRM, I think they expect people it's probably trained for people with like long hair, right? There's a lot of people of every kind of human. I guess that use BRM. Not everybody has short hair. So yeah, but yeah, the performance. I've been thinking about that. Like if I had some like opaque color or something like that, like green or any other color, and then the contrast of me like in a, you know, very like, I don't know, man, super tight suit, but like, you know, say Spider-Man, you know, type. Yeah, it would probably help because it can see better. Like the reason I was moving my camera just now was lighting has the amount of lumens, you know, of the sun, and that may affect how it detects something. I've been noticing different things, like this chair, for example, has these little corners. Like the camera's trying to figure it all out. So what I want is to make it as easy as possible for the algorithm,
Hmm.
and open a place for success, right? So
Hmm.
I'm trying to do a thumbs up with a metal Sonic on the side of the screen.
Good.
Yeah, but it's very good because right now I'm charging it, but I didn't have to. I could have set it on top of there. I actually set it up on the other day on the angle here. I got a coat hanger and on an angle, and I got a rubber band, and I just put my phone there while I was streaming, and I was
Hmm.
just experimenting angle and the camera stuff. So, but yeah, it's very nice, very cool. Let's see. It's there. Switch to virtual camera, and then source scene, and then I have to switch this back to the regular. Yes, yes, and I'm back. So all the stuff that you see under is all the things that I didn't want you guys to see, right? So it's a little more seamless. But in here in OBS, I cropped it out, right? And so there's less things that you see. So when I stream it to Zoom, you guys don't really see that part, right? At least it's probably something in the corner, but oh, okay, no, you can't see it on Zoom, but I can see it on OBS. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So for I have to turn something off so I can use my face cam again because it's kind of like not everything can use it at the same time, right? Your camera, if it's being used, it's like one slot. You know, you used your slot, so you have to kind of switch around sometimes. But with the camera, you can go and do that. And I've been thinking also like if you had multiple cameras with the same algorithm to sort of track you in multiple places, so it's a bit more seamless as well. That may be something. I think that's already been done, but in a cheap way, right? Or something like that. So I think I would like to make this almost in a way like more open source than it is, if you will, make it more accessible and stuff like that. Of course, it's going to have limitations, but you know, uh, as long as you know it has some kind of decent expectation of performance, I think that's all we can ask. You know, so I'm very happy with what this is. This is like a 8 out of 10 right now for me. So, um, and yeah, some of the customization. Is it alt? I always forget if it's alt. Okay, there we go. It's this for the
Whoa, I
mocap.
love this second guy. What is going on there? Oh, I'm looking at the
Where?
Vroid Hub page that you have in the background. He's just a derpy looking guy. You've completely covered him over now.
Uh,
It's okay.
let's see. Let's see the line.
But the second guy
The,
from the top
wait.
left, the second from the left
Oh,
at the top.
this. I don't know what that is. That is like a creepy pasta version of Little Sonic.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
really.
That's like a horror flick right there. Let me see if I can 3D scene. Let's see. What was it? I know it's in here. Just sometimes I get lost in some of these things, visual effects. Oh yeah, there's a whole menu on this. The lighting, the camera, like it's very adjustable in that sense. I've been thinking to use the the background the AI like background remover, but I don't know exactly how that pans out with performance. But I feel like to some extent, blurring it helps because it makes it noise on purpose. So you don't want the camera to focus on those things. You want it to focus on you. So see scene background. There you go. This is so there's different scenes for this, just whatever. Ballroom for some reason. I feel like you can just upload whatever you want, of course, but these are just like kind of like a weird skybox, if you will. Blue Studio. I know in Warudo they had like a streamer room. So there was like the lights were all like pink and purple, right? You got your gamer chair over there in the corner, the bed on the side, And that's kind of like the space that I want to make for this character, just to wrap it all up. You can have them in space for no reason.
Awesome.
Blue sky.
Yeah, so
So yeah,
where are you gonna apply this? Is this mostly gonna be like Discord and stuff or
this is.
uh,
I think for me,
yeah.
it's probably going to be for Twitch. Probably for
Oh, okay,
Twitch.
okay. Yeah, but
You know,
streaming, cool.
yeah. I've been I have experience streaming myself. I feel like because of this little experiment, I learned so much more about OBS than I ever have, and it's been awesome. So that's definitely going to be like a huge upgrade of things you can do and whatnot, and sort of learn to do experimental stuff, right? Because one thing is what you can do with your webcam, but like, hey, you have your webcam plus now you have your camera, right? If you can just withstand reading the chat somewhere else, that can be streaming for you. I don't know if it's a requirement for you to be on that like browser 100%. I'm not totally sure on that. I don't think that's a requirement, but it might be. Nonetheless, um, yeah. So I haven't played with it like so much, but so far it's been pretty neat. Not gonna lie. So um, and there's different algorithms you can actually switch on the mocap in the body tracking. So I have it best. Let me see. Is it body tracking or is it the face? I think it's the hands actually, but all of them have it. Let me see if I can. Body tracking, hand face tracking, upper body blend mode. It's just there's so much. There's all kinds of stuff in here to make it smoother experience, stabilize it. Let's see here, webcam. There we go. So yeah, this is if it uses your GPU, if it uses your CPU, what model it's actually using, and all of that. So it's probably some of these are a bit better than the others. Let's see if I can. AI transformers, media pipe. So this is the one that I'm always using. The transformers using YOLO. This model is like old, like the model algorithm, but it's pretty solid for what it is. There's a YOLO 26 that came out. I tested the detection. So the model was freaking out, but I have to give props to the detection in the box over here. Because I saw the difference. It's significant. But that algorithm was never made to be up close, and it was made to detect multiple people also, if that's the case. So to be all the way over here, it does incredibly well. So if it sees your knee, like from the knees down, it's incredible. But obviously, because I have to spend some time adjusting for here, that is kind of an issue because it has a predictability issue with the model, right? So like I understand that the algorithm has to assume things if it doesn't see my legs, right? Because either I'm 2 feet tall, or I'm on my knees, or I'm in a chair, right? So it has to kind of cop out some way and do that, right? So that's why maybe say having two cameras would be something interesting That way I can see all of you or a particular angle that the algorithm will freak out. Like there's many concepts that you can think of to combine this, right? But again, these are experimental thoughts. I do not have like I don't have the knowledge for that quite yet. But yeah, there's a lot you can do on here. Just want to make sure everything's by default. GPU, I don't mind that being on my GPU. That's fine. I would rather be on the GPU
I
than
think those
CPU.
thoughts you had there were pretty on point. That'd definitely be worth exploring because I mean I think those were good next like kind of brush strokes to add to this system. So
Yeah, I mean, even if it like if let's say, right, let's say it was a full-blown product, right? What is my selling point? My selling point literally would be like, you know what? Listen, people usually have a certain amount of money to say to pay for a particular tool, but you know what? You know what comes after the payment of that software? I'll tell you, even if it's a subscription, I'll tell you, it's a buttload of money on streaming like motion capture equipment. And I want to get rid of all of that. I'm like, you know what? All you need is this. We figured out the rest. What you need is just maximize what you have, right? You have an extra phone or use your own phone plus your own webcam. And if you know you want to get your own webcam, cool, whatever. You can do a combo. You can like, okay, get your webcam, get a USB extension to that wall over there, use your webcam by default, and your phone, right? And the algorithm sort of paints together this picture, right? It sort of combines them in the right areas to create an understanding of where you are in depth, in space, what the algorithm expects from you, right? Like, I don't, obviously, I'm assuming some of you have used VR headsets like Meta Quest and all that. You have to create a border, right? And being able to virtualize that border so that way the algorithm is like, oh, whatever is like via AR in the position that it's in, I'm not going to detect any of that because that's not the person. Like if I go outside of that box, the model will just be like this because there's nothing there. But if you're in the box, then it starts to hone in on that instead of look at everything and be like, oh, I think I see a pigeon. So let me make your hand do this all crazy and stuff, you know? So yeah. So there's a lot of potential with this. And you really, you know, just to make it better for people to have this kind of experience without spending so much money, like, you know? So yeah. So you have to get very clever, right? You have to get a lot of smart people together, a little bit of AI probably, and I think something magical can happen.
this is super clever. I'm really impressed, dude. This is really cool. I want to do one. I think it'd be kind of funny to do a VTuber like takeover in like the OpenClaw community or something.
Yeah, like I said, I'll do the documentation on it. Like it's not even like it's like I'll try to find the chat that Codex did, and I'll ask it, what did you do to get to this point? Because I'm going to guarantee you whether I have the documentation or not. If you harass Codex after having downloading the software, like just default everything, having the software, right? The XR animator, you download the VRM that you want. Pray that the skeleton is correct, right? Like zero experience. You just pray it's okay, right? If it's VRM ready, allegedly, then it's probably VRM ready. And if you harass Codex, it will do it for you because that's exactly what I did. So, but I'll try to get actual documentation so it's like you don't have to like explore too much. It'll just be boom, 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 boom. And then if you need Codex or something, you can totally do it, you know?
All right, what do you mean by harass codex?
Well,
Is this like
I
an
had to like tell
adversarial
it, be
culture?
like, well, it's kind of like this. It's like, Codex will be like, all right, I did this thing, which makes sense based off the files, right? The structure and the architecture inside. And I'm like this, good, good. And he's like, try it out. And I'm like, okay. And I'm just like, it didn't work over and over and over and over again. And so until I finally got it, right? So I hit that sort of eureka and yeah, so what I'm going to try to do is sort of trace back what it is So maybe I can turn that into a prompt but it's very specific, and you just send it to whatever AI that has the capacity to interact with this application on that level, whether it be Claude or Codex, something on anti-gravity, and do that. Because if I do that, that way your AI doesn't even have to really explore. It just does exactly what I needed to do to get to this point, and you should be good, to be honest with you. But yeah, I had to beat him with a stick, until we like, do it right. I want this. It's not working. So
Okay, let's see. Who VTubes that you think is really good at it?
who VTube is really good at it? Well, there's a lot of the VTubing space is huge. It actually exploded about like 3 years. I want to say not more. Sorry, I'm too nostalgic. It about like 4 years ago, I think. And there was different levels to it, right? You had people who were doing VTubing, but it was 2D, right? First, you had your 2D. Like, there's a website. I'm actually going to share. Let me see. Bongo Cat. Okay, bongocat.com. Let me see if it'll load here. So this is one of the things that people sort of did. So each of these keys does a certain thing, right? And there was a plugin or something that somebody made of this meme and basically created like a keyboard. And wherever you pressed that, the press that key. Now, this is just the original one, but for the keyboard, it actually goes to that key every single time. And the other hand follows around the cursor of your mouse, and you can see the position of that also, like obviously virtually by this meme. And people also started doing the regular VTubing, like anime, this and that, and whatever. But it wasn't just so superficial. They started to have different frames for different angles. So the software would track their face that at a certain angle, there's a certain frame that has a slightly different look. So it would be like the illusion of 3D, right? Eventually, they actually went up to 3D, right? But it started getting kind of complicated. And people needed to know how to use Blender. People needed to know how to program in Blender, how to make the proper relationships with the skeleton that is in the body of your model, right? And those people that went over that learning curve either learned it that way and paid for a software a month that was just like, oh, just load your VRM, we'll handle the rest. Because people made money off that too, and it just enriches. Well, it depends on the content, obviously, but enriches sort of the experience, and people just kind of enjoy that. Sometimes, as you can see, like for example, I spend a little bit of time in VR chat, and what I notice is that I don't know, I guess for worse. I'm not even gonna say for better or for worse, but there are some people who rather live in not reality. Okay, it actually gets kind of crazy. Um, and when it comes to YouTubers and stuff like that, obviously these people are not like depressed. They're just doing it for fun, right? But that change makes the stream just different. I don't know how to explain it. You just kind of have to see it and feel it for yourself. Like the feel of the whole stream is different. It's like you're playing a character, right? If people who are in VR chat, they play the character that they want to be, right? And it's kind of enjoyable that way, right? And a lot of the times also in a stream, you don't get to interact with, some people understand that they don't want to, there's a different feeling if it's just the real you, right? It's authentic for sure, but it's the real you with maybe the bad lighting, maybe with that one acne zit on your face that you haven't got rid of, right? Maybe it is insecurity. Who knows, right? That all depends on the person.
Or maybe
Um,
it adds acne to your thing.
no,
Just
like I said, it could be thousands of reasons, right? But this sort of turns the experience of streaming less of an IRL and more like a video game. All on top of the fact that more than likely, especially on Twitch of all places, it's probably a video game, right? So you're just maximizing sort of like your points, right? Sort of like charisma points, if you will. So that's kind of why they do that, right? They do it for fun. It just sort of statistically helps the stream more. People like it because a lot of the time people don't know how to do it. They're like, oh, cool, there's this guy playing as whatever. A lot of the times, like I said, it's 2D VRM anime characters or stuff like that. You know, because a lot of people obviously love anime. And they just kind of make it their own. Sometimes they play people that, when I say people that exist, I mean characters that already exist, and copyright and all these things. And some of them design their own character and that represent them, and they play those characters. And yeah, so they just do it to enrich the stream. And I kind of wanted to do the same thing, but I wanted to do something like as dynamically as possible, as cheaply as possible. That's my objective. I haven't not reached that right now, but this is quite the start for what it is. Because I guarantee you that a lot of these VTubers that is like 2D, if they leave, I guarantee you they have a hotkey that is so they can just kind of sit still and not look weird while they're going to the bathroom, right? Or else, because what would happen is if you don't set it up properly, you leave the camera and either disappear
right.
or come back freaking out or whatever, right? With the model. And in
That's a
terms
good
of
idea. You should make that. How would we do
yeah,
that?
for this, oh, I don't even know. I
You can
mean,
maybe
yeah,
make it a hotkey or like a separate button that you could like
well,
plug
yeah.
in.
If you're not on camera, it doesn't detect you. You can model your character to be in a certain position, right?
What if you just started
So
with a button before do the like detect thing?
yeah, yeah. There's I think also there's hotkeys actually. If I actually go back, here's for example, there's a pose mode apparently. Uh, some of them are more facial expressions. Obviously, Metal Sonic doesn't have a lot of facial expressions, so I didn't need to track that. But let me see, sit. So this is sit, right? Sit two. Here's the second version of sit. Obviously, the model again is not super prepared.
Yeah, it's like butt was
Yeah, I was tripping. I don't know what was wrong, what's going on there. Yeah, he's just like I'm planking or something. I don't know what he's doing. And stuff like this, like different little like poses and stuff. I don't know why Metal Sonic looks like the thinker right now posing, but so you can adjust some of the hip or the model and stuff like that. But there's other poses too. Let's see. So, yeah, it looks like Metal Sonic trying to look cute or something. That's funny. Right.
felt
I don't like how it tracks my head while it does this, by the way. It's kind of creepy. But oh
felt
my
cute.
gosh,
Might delete later.
yeah, literally, dude. Let's see. Oh man, it won't get rid of the pose. Um, Let me see. Clear our custom poses. Let's see. Reset pose. This order. I don't know. Well, I can just reset it. So super quick. Boom. I'm in. It starts to load the VRM. I'm already in. All I'm doing is I'm picking the camera. I'm pretty sure it's through this. And then I just tell the mocap to use either my face, my body and hands, face and body, or the full thing, right? So I'm like, all right, use the full thing. And we're pretty much back to normal. See if I
The
yeah,
freaking mesh on the face is amazing. That's quite detailed.
yeah, it's actually crazy how actually good it is. It actually has eye tracking as well, by the way,
Oh
if you
wow.
didn't know. Yeah, it
Yeah, I
does.
want to do
I
some
don't
eye
use
tracking
it,
stuff.
but you can absolutely do the eye tracking. It would be interesting. Like what I would do with Metal Sonic is that the eyes, if I move my eyes, like the two red eyes kind of move in the visor a little bit, just to be like, it's like I could be looking to my left, but I turn my face a little bit to the right, right? So that'll make it a little bit more alive,
Yeah.
and in that sense.
So cool.
Fluxing right now, but my hand
What a
disappeared there.
trip.
What's that about? So, yeah. So obviously the model, the skeleton of the detection expects a model with a smaller head. So you can see, like for example, I put my hands on my face, right, and it's in my head, right. So I would have to do, I don't know where, but I'd have to do a kind of adjustment where it's like, well, his face is up to here, but look at the size of that. This is like almost 12 8 inches away from my face. So Metal Sonic, his face is actually like that size. I'm like a mascot, right? Like the mascot. So even my feet are here. Let me
That's
see. Hold
really
on, I'll flip
funny.
the camera a little
That's got to be some sort of configuration where like you could make it so that, like if your hands are touching your actual face, Sonic is putting his hands to his wacky metal Sonic head. Um, Instead of like you had him like way apart and it's still on his head. Although I don't know, maybe it's funny just to have the like bobblehead thing going
Oh my gosh! Wait a second. This is amazing. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
on.
Let me actually lower it like half an inch, like a little bit.
This is so
Hold on. Hold on.
ridiculous.
I'm in this swivel chair right now. Hold on.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that's so funny. He's flying.
It's hilarious. So yeah. So like I said, that what you just experienced is what I'm trying to achieve in the stream on top of the completely irrelevant content. Like I wanted to do it for trading related reasons. And I want to be able to like point at a chart, like you see how it does this or whatever, and it's like actually there, like in the 3D space, so I can like show people what I'm looking at on TradingView, and do something cool like that, or have like at least a stick and be like, look at what Metal Sonic is telling you. You see this trend right here, or something like that. It's just an idea. So yeah, let's see what else is here. Hand cameras. Yeah, I don't know what the hand cameras is. Click during mocap. No idea what that is. I probably have to connect something with that. But oh, whoa, what was that? Oh, what the dude? Oh my gosh, no way. Hold on, hold on. I don't think you understand what just happened.
All
This
right.
thing is detecting my hand as
Uh-huh.
if there's a camera in it.
What?
So I'm moving it along. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me actually reset the mocap because I just made a new discovery. So hold on. Pipeline full
It'd be
body.
it'd be kind of cool to like if you set up a second camera and have a side by side. Or I guess you could just do the regular feed and do the Sonic or Metal Sonic
Oh, there we go.
feed, huh? But like just it would be funny to see what that looked like because it definitely seemed like the mocap was just glitching. But also did look like you were holding something.
Yeah, so this is the hand camera apparently. I don't know how I can unzoom it a little bit, but apparently it's detecting my hand as if I had a GoPro in it. So if you see me just barely, like I'll move my hands a little bit in the background so you can see, and it'll wiggle. So wherever I'm pointing it, that's where it's looking, basically.
See.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy. So my left hand doesn't have that, but my right hand does. So yeah, that's actually so sick. So let me see if I can put my face in front. Oh, sorry. See, this is why the other webcam is so difficult to. But yeah, it works. That's crazy. Let me look down. It's a little hard to maneuver, but yeah, that's crazy.
This
I
is
didn't even know you could do that.
Dude, I can tell you're excited about this, and I'm excited for you, and you have every right to be excited. This is a really neat project. And then, like, I mean, it's kind of neat because, like, there's definitely a lot of people that do this, but you realize now, like, just how much effort they've put into making this happen. And then, like, I'm looking
Oh
at
yeah,
this and just going, holy crap. Like, I can decipher all the things that are, like, many of the things that are going on, but there's, like, gaps in my mind where it's like, man, I wasn't able to do some of this stuff in the past because it's just, we hadn't been working long enough, but now we got that many more years of work on these models and these just like tools in the pipeline. Um,
yeah.
and then like LLMs to help you just make sure you don't miss steps when you're assembling it all. It's really amazing. Oh, interesting. So I see Bongo Cat in the background on the one thing, but then there's like a thumbnail image of you, and it's you on a black background, or it's like Metal Sonic on a black background, and
Oh
then
yeah. So
what's
yeah,
that
I'll
about?
show. Let me see if I can. So the app is like kind of transparent in a sense, right? And
Uh-huh.
this appears.
Oh yeah, because
This
it's
is part
mostly
of the
like an
program.
overlay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me just do this. There. So yeah, so it sort of tells you where the borders are right here. Like, oh, that's too far. So, oh, sorry, that's the wrong hand. And over here, this is the max. You go down. Let me see. Like it ends about here ish. So that's why I'm like, okay, well, one thing is when you're close, if you back up a tad, have to mess with that, then there's a bit more detection, there's a bit more room, if you will. But obviously, if you get too far, it's hard for the program to detect my hands. In fact, maybe I'd have to spread them way wider, right?
Yeah, there's got to be some setting for that. Because that's got to be a regular problem, right? You get funny models and then you want to kind of scale them relative to the person that's looking at it. Because, like, I don't know, let's say your character is like Tiny Mario or something like that before he eats a mushroom.
Yeah,
But you're like you and I are both kind of like lanky guys, so like we don't really map onto Mario. We map more onto like Luigi. But if you like Mario, you want to be Mario. So like they've got to, they have to have solved that. There's probably just some terms we need to learn. This is so cool.
there you go.
Man, you got me
Just line
thinking,
it up.
what do I do for mine? I guess I should do a bird, huh? Because I'm because Val's group calls me Birdie.
Let
Tiny,
me
did you
show.
look at OBS yet?
Let me do. Actually, you know what? No, let me keep it on. Go here. Show. So yeah, there's a lot of characters that obviously have like feet, hands,
He
head,
dancing on
right?
my face. Hey, no fair.
Wait a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me lower this guy a little bit over here. There we go. It's the other hand. You're getting your nose picked right now. You don't even know it. Oh, uh,
Really cool. All right. Well, that is the time we've had. I had some things prepared, but this is great. No need for me to do my stuff. I can just do it at the quarterly one.
all right.
Good, sir. Thank you so much. Once again, really impressed and proud of you for sticking with this thing and getting it working, man. Can't wait to see what you add to it. I think you had
Oh
probably like
yeah,
five
for
or
sure.
six great ideas about what to do next. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna get the recording
Okay.
out relatively quickly. So I recommend listen to it because like you did a really great job presenting, man. This is awesome.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, Indu agrees. He says, great presentation. Thanks all. Good night. See you next time. And I agree. All those words. All right. I'm out. I'll see you on Discord, sir. See you, Tony. See you, Carter.
Peace, peace.